Hello Pokemon trainers, I have another Wi-Fi battle here today, and sorry again if the quality is not very good. I don't have a legitimately great camera, so I'm just going to have to work with what I have. So we're going to try to make this work. Alright, so we're going to play back. This is an OU match I had on Wi-Fi on the PSS, and the trainer's name is JP, and they're one of my friends on the Pokemon X game. So I was able to challenge them because they were looking for a battle. So he's going to lead off with Genesect, and I lead off with Talonflame. And he gets a special attack boost, so I'm going to be afraid of like the Thunderbolt here, because that's really the most threatening thing he can do to Talonflame. You know, Flamethrower and U-Turn won't do any damage to it. So I'm going to go into my Excadrill predicting the Thunderbolt, and he actually does go for it. And I'm going to take no damage from that, obviously, because I am immune to it. And that's going to force a switch into his Ferrothorn. And there's not too much I can do to Ferrothorn, but I just decided to go for the safe Earthquake, just scouting what he's going to want to do, and just to get damage on whatever he switches into. As you can see, though, the Ferrothorn takes very, very little, if any, damage at all. So I'm definitely going to have to switch out here. There's nothing I can do against Ferrothorn. He is going to be able to get up his hazards, but that's fine. I switched into Lucario knowing that I don't run the risk of being paralyzed by Thunder Wave, because he wouldn't use Thunder Wave against Excadrill unless he made like a hardcore prediction. So I'm safe to bring in Lucario here and threaten him out. And I'm just going to Mega Evolve, go for the close combat, knowing that it'll do a lot of damage to just about everything he has, except maybe this Victini, but I figured even though his Victini resists it, it's probably more of an offensive spread, and it would probably take a good chunk of damage anyway. And as you can see, it does about a third maybe, and that's a pretty decent amount, I guess, to a Pokemon who resists it. And plus Victini has pretty good defenses overall. So obviously I know that I can't stay in because I'm not confident that an extreme speed will kill when it has that much health. So I'm going to switch into my Rotom here, predicting a fire move of some sort, but he actually makes a good play there, goes for the safe Psyshock. To catch something on the switch. He actually catches my Rotom on the switch, and even though I am specially bulky, not physically bulky, that Psyshock doesn't do very much, and Psyshock goes off of my defense rather than my special defense, so yeah, that was a good play. And then he goes into Rotom here. I figured he'd switch, and even if he didn't, getting any damage on that Victini would be good for me, so I just decided to go for the Volt Switch, and I'm able to go back into Lucario and get a close combat off, and that's going to be a clean one-hit KO. Well, one-hit KO with prior damage, but I think even without prior damage, Mega Lucario's close combat still one-hit KO standard Rotom wash. So as you can see, that's going to be the case, and that's going to force my opponent into Machamp. I don't want to stay in again because I'm afraid that a close combat will not kill, and I'm going to go into my Trevenant predicting the Dynamic Punch, and that's exactly what happens. Trevenant is a great wall to this Machamp because even if he has Ice Punch, I do have Will-O-Wisp, which is what I'm going to go for. Luckily, I do hit, but unfortunately for me, he does have the Lumberry, so that's going to be good for him, and he's going to be able to get off a knockoff. And as you can see, that does so much damage, and it knocks off my leftovers, so that's not a favorable turn for me, but at least I got the Lumberry out of the way. I didn't really... I kind of thought he might have Lumberry, but here I'm going to, I guess, predict a switch. Go for the Leech Seed, and even if he didn't switch, I was confident that knockoff wouldn't do as much. I don't know, I was confident that it wouldn't kill me, I guess. But I catch the Victini on the switch with the Leech Seed, get a little bit of recovery, and then I'm going to be able to go back into my Rotom to take any hit that he's going to want to go for. And he just makes a safe play here, goes for the Searing Shot, and as you can see there, I'm going to take it very, very well. And his Victini is Life Orb. Sorry, let me adjust the camera there. Sorry, I hope everything's in clear focus here. The Leech Seed is going to take off a little more of his health. Okay, sorry. Apologize. And he's going to be able to finish me off with a Psyshock. Actually, no, he doesn't finish me off. I'm going to be able to finish him off with the Life Orb, Recoil, and the Volt Switch combo. So Victini's down. That's pretty good for me. It wasn't extremely threatening to my team, especially as long as I had Rotom around. But, it was still a pretty decent offensive Pokemon. And I think it's good that I cleared that out of the way. I'm going to go into Excadrill on the double down. Actually, it's not a double down. I'm just going to go into Excadrill just to bait him into going for Genesect here. And he does get the attack boost, which is fine by me because it means that his flamethrowers or ice beams are not going to be doing as much. As you can see, I live that flamethrower, but unfortunately I do get burned. That is going to matter definitely because I would have done a lot more damage with the earthquake here had I not been burned. So because I'm burned, that earthquake does just about nothing to this Genesect, and I'm going to allow him to kill me off this turn now. Ferrothorn's not a threat as long as I have Lucario, so I don't really mind if my opponent gets up his hazards, because my Rapid Spinner is now dead. But I'm going to be able to go into Talonflame on the free switch, and I think I just go for the Flare Blitz here. I'm not too sure. Let's see. Yeah, I just went for the safe Flare Blitz, knowing that Genesect was locked into the Flamethrower, and that it would do absolutely nothing to Talonflame, so I'm safe to just pretty much pick something off with the Flare Blitz. Nothing is safe to switch into that, and I'm Choice Banded. And yeah, that's going to do a lot of recoil, though. With the recoil from Flare Blitz and the Iron Barb's damage, that's going to take me down to almost half. And my opponent does make a good play here, goes into Ampharos, and I know it's going to Mega Evolve. I know it's a Dragon type when it Mega Evolves, so I know that keeping Talonflame in is not going to do anything for me for now. So I'm going to go into Rotom here, pretty much as death fodder, because any hit that my opponent goes for, because Mega Ampharos is so powerful and because my Rotom is so weak in health, is going to kill me. And yeah, that's going to be unfortunate, but that is going to allow me to get the initiative here because I'm going to be able to send in something after I see what my opponent goes into. They are going to go into Genesect, and that's even better for me because since Genesect is coming in on a switch with no other Pokemon, it does not get the download boost. So I'm able to go into Talonflame and threaten the Genesect. I think I just go for the safe Brave Bird here, knowing that it'll blast through just about everything my opponent has left. Except for this Ampharos, of course. So as you can see here, this Brave Bird is not going to do very much damage to Ampharos. It does about maybe a fifth, I'd say, maybe a fourth. Yeah, probably about a fourth. And I actually just stay in and go for another Brave Bird here. I think the main reason I did that was because I don't have anything to appropriately switch into a Mega Ampharos' Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. Because Mega Ampharos actually has 165 special attack, which is very, very, very high. So, yeah, I was mindful of that when I let my Talonflame stay in and die. And my opponent's going to go back into their Machamp. And again, you know, I think Trevenant's the best thing I have to take on Machamp. So I'm going to go into that. And my opponent is going to switch out knowing that it's a bad matchup for them. And I think whether I go for the Will-O-Wisp or Leech Seed here is irrelevant since they're both going to be good against Ampharos, just getting all that residual damage on it and trying to kill it as quickly as possible. Because this is a threat. Genesect is not as much of a threat if I can switch in an appropriate Pokemon that will take whatever hit it's locked into. But I'm going to leave Trevenant in to die here. To the Dragon Pulse, and my opponent is going to take residual damage from the burn, which again is good. And now I'm going to be able to go into Lucario, and I think I'm just going to go for Power Up Punch here just because I am faster and I know it'll kill, and it will give me the attack boost, so I essentially have a Choice Band now thanks to that Power Up Punch boost. And now I can hopefully proceed to sweep, but Genesect is going to be a downer here, just because it's probably Scarfed. And it's probably a lot faster. It does also get the special attack boost, so I know that I cannot stay in. I have nothing to hit this thing with. My two priority moves are Extreme Speed and Bullet Punch, both of which Genesect resists. So I'm finally going to go into my Greninja, knowing that my opponent's going to lock themselves into Flamethrower to kill off the Lucario. I'm going to take that pretty well for Greninja. You know, Greninja has pretty bad defenses, and then I'm going to be able to go for a move of my choice. I think I go for Hydro Pump here, and that's good that I actually hit the move. I do not miss, which means that I'm going to be able to get a good chunk of damage down on that Machamp. Unfortunately, though, well, actually, no, yeah, they're going to be able to go for the Bullet Punch, and that's not going to do enough. And I'm going to be able to finish it off with an Ice Beam. And so at this point, I'm not sure how many Pokemon my opponent has left, but Genesect is definitely one of them. I think Genesect might be their last. And, you know, Genesect is going to be pretty annoying to take down just because, again, it's going to be faster than the rest of my team. So they do go into Genesect. They do get the attack boost, which is also pretty good for me, and they're going to be able to finish off my Greninja with a Flamethrower. So now it really comes down to whether or not Lucario can live non-boosted flamethrower from a Genesect. Pretty unlikely, probably not going to happen, but you know, it's worth a try here. I'm going to switch in. They do go for the flamethrower, and that is going to cleanly one-hit KO my Lucario. Pro tip, Mega Lucario cannot survive a flamethrower from Genesect at full health. But hope you enjoyed that battle. I know the narration wasn't up to par with some of my other ones, and I know the battle quality also was not quite up to par, but you know, I like to do some variation on my channel, on our channel, and not only do Pokemon Showdown battles, but I also like to do some Wi-Fi battles, and even some other, you know, Pokemon news and stuff like that. But check out the links in the description. I'm going to post a link to our Twitter in case you want to follow us. I'm also working on a little website for iStarly, and I've posted something on there that I think everyone will appreciate. So, yeah, check out the links in the description, comment below, let us know what you thought, and tell Dieter how much you miss him. Alright, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.